TikTok compilation that might wake you up and change your reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
It's a mysterious and reflective monolith was spotted in a hiking trail over the weekend.
So what's the story?
There's been a bunch of these. So the police, actually, Vegas police posted those pictures. A volunteer search team went out to it in a remote area and confirmed that it's just this like 10-foot standing monolith.
Wow.
A guy named Craig Muir found the same exact thing in Wales, literally in the middle of nowhere.
How interesting.
Craig Muir is a stonemason by trade, and he said when he examined it, it was surgical steel, like the best craftsmanship you could imagine.
What?
So for those conspiracy theorists who think maybe this is aliens, they're very handy.
Stonehenge.
Okay.
So I don't know, do you guys have a theory on what
I
it
think
is?
someone's punking us. I think someone's sneaking around and placing these things.
Well, clearly, what else would it be?
Just-
An alien?
Well, people think it's a portal.
Why
is that so
That is the
far-fetched?
popular
Well,
theory.
someone's got to put it there.
No. There are a lot of folks on the interwebs who
Come on.
Just let art be art. I love it. It looks like a glitch in the Matrix kind of situation.
Has finally finished his meetings with Kim Jong-un and the glazing went crazy. For starters, Putin arrived at 3 a.m. in the morning, several hours late, which is actually something he has a reputation for. It's said that how late he is a sign of what level of respect he has for the other party. He was 4 hours late with Germany, 3 hours late with Japan, 80 minutes for the United Nations, and 50 minutes late for Pope Francis. China is the only country he has never kept waiting. He was greeted by Kim on a red carpet, they shared a bro hug, he was given some of the nicest flowers I've ever seen, but when it came to who gets in the car first, neither of them would budge. When Putin finally conceded and got in, they were followed by what looks like every police bike in the country. North Korea even lit up their infamous abandoned hotel with words like friendship and welcome Putin despite their country's chronic electricity shortage. When the morning arrived, they put on a massive ceremony with thousands of spectators lined in neat rows, hundreds of people waving Russian flags. He had military marches, balloons, bands, cannons, confetti, towering portraits of the two leaders, and the list goes on. Putin then gifted Kim with a luxury Russian car called the Oris Senat, priced at about $300,000. They then had a one-on-one meeting behind closed doors for about 2 hours, in which it is reported that they signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement that provides mutual help in the event of aggression against either of them. That is massive. NATO has responded to this by saying this demonstrates that our security faces a threat that is not regional, but global.
The million-dollar question is, what are they plotting? NATO versus Russia, China, and North Korea. That's gonna get messy, folks.
Now you've seen the video, right, of the Pope and Joe Biden? I've lived a good long time, more than 5 decades, and I've never in my life met another man, didn't matter if it was a relative, a friend, a priest, a pastor. I've never ever met with nor had a conversation with another man that looked like this. Let's take a look together. Okay, so the Pope comes up, and Biden leans in. He's going to talk to him. He's leaning in, and forehead to forehead. And then they show the wider shot, and I think they might be protecting him. Well, I actually have a still picture of exactly what we just saw. Take a look at this. This is an actual picture, not AI. This is not something that was made up later. This is an actual still of the two talking, and that's the President of the United States, Joe Biden, forehead to forehead with the leader of the Catholic Church. Now, if you're a man or a woman, no matter what you happen to be, have you ever had a conversation with somebody where you were touching forehead to forehead and were there like that for a few seconds? I've never touched the forehead of anybody I was just casually having a conversation with. If it were not an intimate situation, you weren't touching my forehead. Come on!
He and Joe were talking about that time, Joe was the Pope back in Scranton.
They are Miguel Alvarez Flores. He's 22 years old. He's the one in that green shirt. He waved at our camera. And 18-year-old Diego Hernandez Rivera is next to him. Now, these two have been charged with murdering a woman known as Genesis, who was found shot to death on the side of Sharpcrest Street in Southwest Houston. Her body found 2 weeks ago. That woman still has not been identified, but we've been showing pictures of her rings. Police still trying to find out who she is. These guys have also been charged now with kidnapping a 14-year-old girl who ran away from school. And investigators say they held her hostage for more than 2 weeks and assaulted her. Now, the teen told detectives she was forced to drink and do drugs for most of the time she was there. She said that she saw Alvarez Flores and Hernandez Rivera worship a satanic statue. And then Alvarez Flores tattooed a picture of the Grim Reaper on her leg from her knee down to her ankle. The girl said she also saw Genesis in the apartment before that girl was shot.
Wow.
This victim stated that one night during her confinement, she observed an incident where Genesis made an outburst against the shrine dedicated to the gang members' satanic beliefs.
Santa Muerte is not part of God. If you read the Bible, you would know to not worship anyone else but God.
Materials that will be popular in 2024. Glowing bush. 3D cement tile. Light film screen. Strip like glass tile.
Wow. Take my money. I'm getting that LED film screen.
Good morning, Hollywood. I have another very important prophetic message for you. You, yes, you have been quite the disruptor for many decades. Hollywood has been the great disruptor. But now, in the future, Hollywood itself will be disrupted. As you're seeing now behind the scenes, dropping like flies, Hollywood is being disrupted.
Yep.
So good luck and God bless out there, kids, because you're going to need it. Let's hear it for the disruption.
It's so good to see this Hollywood movie star not following the evil path of the rest of Hollywood. God bless you, Stephen Baldwin.
This is the current state of the UK. Shoplifters just walking into stores like Tesco's and picking up anything they want and just walk out, and staff don't do anything. Look at this guy with his big blue bag, filling it up, grabbing some tea bags on the way out. And another one here, box of Kinder Buonos and a box of Freddos as well. It's crazy, look, grabbing his 4-pack of cider. But this guy here, what? I don't know whether to be mad at them or say fair play to them, because to be fair, the cost of living and the prices in the shop, you go to Asda's for 2 bags, there's 170 queen heads. But are you mad at these lot? Or do you say fair play to them? The staff just watching on, powerless to do anything. This guy's got stuff underneath his jacket up, and he's got 200 quid's worth in him, that bloke. And look at all of her bags. It's just mad. Sorry, state of affairs in the UK. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. As always, I'll keep you up to date on stuff like this, for fuck's sake.
Why Western countries like this? Very soon, there won't be stores. Everything will be online.
Paying money to prove a point. Check it out.
Watch this.
You hurting niggas' hearts right now.
Watch this, brother. They need to see this, though. And that wasn't no $1 bill. I don't know if the camera could catch it.
I know, it's on camera.
Oh, okay. I don't know if they could catch it. All of a sudden now, this green piece of paper is worth nothing. It ain't worth nothing no more. You ain't finna tell me I'm finna spend my whole life down here simply just chasing after this, when this could be torn up or burned and all of a sudden it ain't even got no value?
Right.
It gotta be something deeper and greater to life than just chasing after this bag, man.
Yes.
That's why if we talking about building a generation, if we talking about chasing after our God-given purpose, oh, sign me up for that. The bag is important, but the bag is not the top of the food chain.
The truth about money is only a tool. Nothing to love about it.
Did you know that if you take baking soda and mix it up with castor oil, you have a natural recipe for age spots? This recipe comes from Edgar Cayce, who is known to be the grandfather of holistic health. He is also known as the sleeping prophet. 50% baking soda, 50% castor oil, And you can rub it on any area where you have an age spot, dark spots, melasma, hyperpigmentation. Baking soda does a great job at gently sloughing off that top layer of dead skin. This is also excellent to use on the backs of your hands, and you can let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes if you would like.
Wow.
And then just rinse it off, towel it off, and then you'll feel that castor oil moisturizer underneath, and it's so good for your hand. It's excellent for crepey skin. You could also use it on your face to smooth out skin tone, spots on the legs, on the arms, on your chest. Or if you want to make a bigger size, just make sure to do equal parts baking soda to equal parts castor oil. Castor oil is known to improve the laxity of the skin. It can help with collagen production and help to strengthen the skin. Peace out, my friends.
I used castor oil on my cat's eyelids for a few days because he had excessive eye boogers. Now his eye look healthy and pretty. This baking soda and castor oil sounds awesome.
You hear that? You all done? All right, Jake, you going to bed now? All right. Got this nice bottle of boiling water to keep my sleeping bag warm, but I'm not quite ready to go to bed, so just gonna put it right there. On that note, I think I'm gonna get my bed set up. Always try to put something in between the stove and my sleeping bag in case I roll around in the night. I don't want that sleeping bag even touching that stove. It'll melt a hole, or worse yet, catch on fire. Go to sleep and I'll see you guys in the morning.
Let's look from Outdoor Boys. He is a survivalist YouTuber that lives and films in Alaska. Lots of wolves in northern Canada and Alaska. Check him out. You'll love his channel.
Have you guys heard the story about the 5-year-old little girl that the husband was convinced that wasn't really his biological child because she looked nothing like them, because him and his wife had blue eyes or whatever? Anyway, the little girl's 5 years old. The husband is like, I want a DNA test. I want a DNA test. The DNA test comes back. It's not his kid. He's like, I knew it. I knew you cheated on me. The mom is like, no, I'm telling you, I've never cheated on you. This is your child. Like, this is our baby.
Wow.
So the mom takes a DNA test. It's not even her baby either. It's not even her baby either. You want to know why? Because the child was switched at birth.
Woo.
The child was switched at birth in the hospital. Oh my God, it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets so much worse. They do an investigation. They find out that their birth child is in foster care because the little crackheads that took her home had been in trouble with the law, and she'd been in foster care. Can you imagine? The husband was going to divorce the wife. He literally up and filed for divorce because he was like, this child is not ours. This child is not mine. This is not my child. And that poor baby, their baby, their real baby, was off in foster care because the baby was switched at birth. I can't, oh my God, the panic just listening to the story that went into my heart, I couldn't imagine. Don't leave, listen, send your husband, send your mother-in-law, send your sister-in-law. Do not let your baby out of your sight in the hospital. And where I'm from, and we have lived in a small town, our labor and delivery area is tiny. There's probably I think where I delivered my 2 older boys, I think there's maybe 6 rooms, 6 labor and delivery rooms. I'm not joking. And then where I gave birth to my 3rd son at the Claremore Indian Hospital, it's tiny. And they do kangaroo care, and the baby really never leaves your room in that hospital. But anyway, can you imagine? Can you imagine?
No.
I am shook.
Makes you wonder how many of us running around that were switched at birth.
Did this royal love walking around in manky knickers? So like all royals, the Prince of Wales wanted to keep that family wreath going, so married his cousin, Caroline. So when George's mates went to go pick her up, they were like, you stink. Have you like farted or something? And she was like, no, I just don't wash my ass. When Caroline got to England, George was like, no, you are taking the piss. And then got absolutely sloshed because he didn't want to marry a munter with nits. But Caroline hit back and she was like, well, I'm not happy either because you look like you've ate all the pies. And apparently she was so crusty that they only shagged twice on the first night and once on the second night. So unsurprisingly, they started living separate lives after that. So Caroline loved the sesh, and after one too many strawberry woo-woos, she would start like stripping off in that. We'd just start dancing and exposing parts of her body. Allegedly, she danced with her tits out at a ball in Geneva, and despite the fact she'd never seen a bar of soap in her life, she still managed to pull. Had an affair with Napoleon's brother-in-law, but when her husband became king, she was actually banned from the coronation because she was that much of a minger and an embarrassment. But despite this, all the mobs in London thought she was pure good crack, and they loved her. But unfortunately, the same can't be said about her husband.
I love her voice and accent, in the most respectful manner.
Brand new castor oil recipe for fine lines and wrinkles. This one helped take 5 years off my face. Well, actually, I think it's all my castor oil recipes and the liquid collagen that I take every single day. We are not going to waste this gold on my hands right now. So I'm going to put it on my elbows. I'm going to show you right now how to make it and what's involved. I'm going to give you the entire recipe and then I'm going to talk about why I chose what I chose after for those of you that are interested. So we're going to start off with about 5 milliliters, I hate mathy things, of castor oil. You want to get castor oil that is organic, unrefined, cold pressed, hexane free, and in a glass bottle. We're going to fill up the roller ball. Then once we've done that, we're going to add about 5 mils of sweet almond oil. Then we're going to put 6 drops of vitamin E, which is not an essential oil, but there's a reason why I'm using it. We're going to use 2 drops of frankincense, 1 drop of geranium, and 1 drop of lavender, and we're going to blend that up. So why castor oil? I don't even think we really need to have that conversation. Just go follow Barbara O'Neill and you'll have all the answers you need about why castor oil can do just about everything. I like to mix it with sweet almond oil because sweet almond oil has some unique properties that not only make the end result less sticky and a little bit easier to apply, but sweet almond oil also is kind of like a miracle oil for older skin because it has high levels of vitamin E, K, and retinol, all of which are known for their excellent antioxidant properties that really help reduce the signs of aging like fine lines, wrinkles, the dark circles under their eyes. So we want to add that to the castor oil. And we use that vitamin E because it's a great moisturizer, helps with blood circulation, collagen production, helps keep the skin looking more plump and more youthful. Next up, we're going to use that frankincense because it has properties that help to reduce fine lines and wrinkles as well as skin elasticity. It also has anti-inflammatory and astringent qualities that really help to prevent breakouts. It can also help reverse the signs of sun damage. And so we chose geranium because geranium is a total essential oil powerhouse. It can reduce fine lines and wrinkles, slows the effect of aging, stimulates collagen production, promotes cell regeneration, and is great for eczema. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to mention geranium, like it didn't already do enough. It's also really great for helping to balance the hormones. In menopause, geranium essential oil is going to be one of your best friends. I'm using lavender because of its antioxidant, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. It will go after those free radicals like nobody's business. If you would like the recipe and the list of specific ingredients that I personally use, drop oil in the comments. I'll fill you in. And click that follow button. Let's stay on this journey together.
I use castor oil for everything. It heals so much. But make sure you do your own research.
It's a terrible realization that I just realized. All the smart people right now are not having children because it's not financially sound to do so. You know who that leaves? The impulsive people that aren't putting a lot of thought into a big, giant, life-changing decision. I just wonder how that's going to affect the future generation. Anyway. Whatever.
There's a movie about it. Started as a comedy and it's becoming a documentary called Idiocracy.
It's inexplicable. Like, it's nothing like I've ever felt. It just doesn't, you can't even comprehend. But I knew straight away it was acid. My t-shirt dissolved.
In December of 2014, 30-year-old Andreas Christoforos was at home with his wife and young son when suddenly he heard a knock at his front door. Assuming it was just another friendly neighbor or perhaps a delivery man, he went to open it. But as soon as Andreas opened it, he only heard, "This is for you, mate," and was splashed in the face with battery acid. He says immediately he knew it was acid and ran through his house screaming for his wife to call 911 as he tried to find the kitchen where he would begin dousing his face with tap water. But as he ran to the kitchen, his t-shirt began melting off of his shoulders from where this acid was dripping onto it. And so finally his wife comes running down the steps wondering what is going on. And as she does, she has socks on. And when she steps in these areas where the acid has dripped off of Andreas onto the carpet, she recalls it disintegrating her socks off of her feet. Ultimately, he was rushed to the hospital where he was not expected to survive by doctors, but he fortunately has after more than 60 surgeries. However, he is still partially blind and forever scarred. The attacker, a painter and decorator named David Phillips, was later caught and confessed to police that he had driven 300 miles to find a man who he planned to get revenge on for SAing a member of his own family. But very quickly it was discovered that David Phillips had found the wrong house and splashed the wrong man. Phillips was convicted, but has since been released from prison after his sentence was cut in half and is now back in society. Andreas says, in regards to the pain of that acid attack, he would have rather been shot.
I think the guy deserved the capital punishment. Sorry for the injured, man. God bless you. People crying over color on stones and ignoring climate disaster, animal agriculture cruelty, and deforestation in the whole world. What's up with these people?
Poor eyesight, part uno, part one. You wanna dig for some caves. So the way to increase your eyesight, improve your eyesight, is to move blood circulation to your eyes. So what's the best way to do that? Well, let's look at what part of your brain controls your eyesight. It ain't the front, it's the back of your head. So the back of your head actually is the part of the brain that controls your eyesight. So you want to move blood circulation to the back of your head. So I'm going to teach you to dig find two caves that's going to stimulate blood to your eyeballs, right? Into your eyes. So they're in the back of your head. You're going to go along this ear bone. You're going to go right along it, and then you're going to fill this little divot, and this divot is where those caves are. And so you're going to rub these on both sides, okay? The divots. You're going to rub the divots for 30 seconds on each side, right? You can close your eyes while you do it. After 30 seconds, open your eyes. See if your eyes look better. If it doesn't, I got more tips. Make sure you
Well, I don't know if that helped me, but it feels good to rub. By the way, stay until the end because I put some of the best clips towards the end of the video.
Nice bed of MSG on the bottom, then my steak went right on top and immediately started adding the MSG. The key here is to cover the whole thing properly. We don't want any moisture to escape. This is one of those cases that I say the more, the better. The only thing hanging out is the thermometer. Once I was done, check it out. Everything nice and smooth, exactly what I was looking for, as this is the world's first MSG crusted steak. I really have high hopes for this, because now we're gonna go ahead and cook it. We want to cook this nice and slow. We're basically doing something that is called a reverse sear, which is first to cook it in indirect heat. My grill temperature was at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and it took about an hour and a half. And as you can clearly see, the MSG starts dissolving and at the same time creating a nice hard crust. That is what you want. In the end, once the internal temperature was 120 degrees Fahrenheit, I took it off and I was left with something incredible. At least to me, it looks like art. Yeah, but who cares about that? The most important thing is how is it going to look inside. And for that, I'll be real quiet so that you can experience this with me.
What's going on?
Now that does not look like a perfectly cooked steak. And for one reason, there is no crust. Whenever you do the reverse sear method, this is expected. However, it is perfectly cooked in the inside. I just need to put a nice, quick, and fast crust. If not, the steak will completely overcook on me. So outside I went and started to sear. The key and important thing here is to make sure that I get that sear within 1 minute per side. No more than that, if not, I risk overcooking it. And if you want an extra flavor of charcoal, make sure to bang it on the grill grate so the fat renders down and comes up as fumes, perfuming your steak with a wonderful flavor of charcoal and char. Don't overdo it though. Make sure you get golden brown. That's your key. In the end, I went ahead and sliced up my steak, and I was very pleasant with what I got. Nice medium rare, exactly what I was looking for. But the question is, how will this taste? Remember, there is absolutely no seasoning except MSG. Hopefully, this is going to be the most umami flavorful steak I've ever had in my life. At least that's my hope. But in order to know that, we have to have a true comparison. So I went ahead and
MSG at high temperatures, it becomes a carcinogen, a cause of cancer. And pretty sure you only need to season it with MSG, not make an igloo.
Yo, y'all better stay covered in the blood of Jesus. Stay covered. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. I went to the spa. I had a gift card from 2 years ago that I needed to use before it expired. Went to the spa. I decided to get a facial. I'm laying down. My eyes are closed because what else are you supposed to do when you're in the spa, right? And this woman who was a complete sweetheart, she had the kind of personality that was like, do you consent to me touching you? You know, like when you don't need consent, I'm at a spa. Sweetheart. So I'm laying down, my eyes are closed, and she begins. And she says, let's start out by doing a cleansing ritual.
Get out of
As soon
here.
as she said ritual, my eyes popped open. And she was standing above me and she was doing this symbol. And I'm like, what in the hell? And she has something on her hands, like her hands has this lotion, I don't know. And it smelled really good. And she goes, okay, now breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3. The way that I held my breath, I was like, what is going on here? And then after she told me to breathe in 3 times, which I did not, she turns off the water. Honestly, I didn't even realize that the faucet was on. And so now my head is racing. I'm like, oh wait, she just did a water ritual on me. I don't know, she's doing something from the marine kingdom, whether she knows it or not. And so I'm just like, what? This is not what I signed up for, right? But I'm laying there and I'm like, my eyes are open. And then she begins the facial. So during the facial, just by us talking, turns out that she's Christian. She just moved from another state and she's looking for a new church. And I'm just like, with my spiritual eyes, because my spiritual eyes are open and I'm asking questions on purpose. I'm like, why is a Christian woman doing a ritual from the marine kingdom? Most likely because she doesn't know what she's doing. And although all that breath work that she's trying to do to impart spirit, whether she knows it or not, is something that we have to be hyper vigilant about. If your spiritual eyes are not open, if you're not rolling with Jesus, you may not understand what just happened. But for those who understand, yeah, your friend, me, I was in the car and I was like praying, Lord, whatever that she tried to impart over me, I cancel it. I renounce it in the name of Jesus Christ. I do not come in agreement with that. I don't know what that was. Lord, you saw my heart was clean. I went there to just go get a facial. I did not go to a psychic or anything. But I'm just saying, you got to be vigilant out there. It's kind of crazy.
I would stand up, rebuke in the name of Jesus, and ask what you're doing. You're doing too much. Just do the facial. Straight up.
Sorry. What's your name? Your name. What are you doing? What are you here for? Who are you here to meet?
I'm texting a friend.
You're texting a friend. You're texting a 15-year-old.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
No, stand here and have a conversation or I'm getting the police here.
I'm not texting a 15-year-old.
About to call the police. About to... Sir? Okay, let me pull your phone out. Let me see your apps. Pull your phone out. He's here with the 15-year-old. Sir. Sir. He's here with the 15-year-old. Where are you going? You can't stand and talk?
I know it's not admissible in a court of law, but that walk alone proves he's guilty.
Oh, listen, y'all remember how they said that this is what angels really look like, right? Yo, listen to this.
Researchers say they've identified at least 7 stars that might be surrounded by super advanced alien megastructures known as Dyson spheres. Yes, I said alien structures, and I know what you're thinking, but just stay with me here, because the basic idea was this. Superior intelligent life might build big structures around their home stars or planets as a way to harness or reuse that energy. A 1960s physicist who came up with this idea, Freeman Dyson, argued that if these structures existed, there'd be so much energy that human scientists on Earth could probably spot it because it would emit a lot of infrared radiation. So in this new study, researchers say they found 7 sources glowing in the infrared, those are their words, but couldn't find an obvious explanation for why these sources are glowing so much, which could mean they're Dyson spheres or something else entirely. And what I'm saying is, what? Space is so crazy. I wish I understood it better. So let's
stop right there, right? This is what a Dyson sphere looked like in the scientific realm. This is what an angel look like in the religious realm. The real one too. Tell me they just wasn't describing that, y'all.
This excites me. I'm fascinated with these different types of angels.
Good.
Okay, try.
What is inside? Nutella? Chocolate?
There's chocolate and banana.
Oddio.
I know.
What do you
right?
think?
Buonissimo.
Bellissimo.
Very nice.
It's very nice?
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of the traditional cake that is come from Indonesia that we call, in Balinese we say terang bulan.
Terang bulan.
Terang bulan. Terang bulan is the bright of the moon. Yeah, the light of the moon.
We never started.
When you eat them, I mean it's like you will have you changing your mood to be better. Okay, enjoy guys.
Thank you.
From Italy,
Do you eat like in morning?
Yeah.
You can have it in the night, in the morning.
I know a guy from Australia. He eats it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No exaggeration. It's that good.
Sorry, but we're gonna have to arrest you and they start to put him in handcuffs. So we decided to go to New York for the first time ever during Thanksgiving last year. And because we were gonna go see the Statue of Liberty and all of the touristy stuff, it was gonna be the first time we left all of our belongings at the hotel without us being there.
But one simple mistake would change their lives forever.
So Jacob and I, in the state of Texas, were legally Pum owners. What we thought we knew about the Second Amendment was that you could have it on your property. We put it in the safe with all of our other valuable belongings. Around 6 p.m., we get to the hotel and we go to our hotel room. And Jacob goes to open up the safe. Okay, y'all, so we put something in our safe in the hotel and we just came in and Jacob cannot unlock the safe. That means that somebody changed the password, came into the safe.
Yeah.
So I am fuming right now. I go downstairs to the front desk and I'm like, hey, somebody went through our safe while we were gone. Do you know who it was? So she's like, yes, let me call the engineer manager. We hear a knock at the door.
I think, I'm not sure, but I think it's a liability for the hotel to allow their people to open safe. Maybe I'm wrong again. They probably left it out in the room and the staff called the police. Let me know how you feel about this.
I just got a coffee from the petrol station and the girl she had cigarettes that she was putting away. And I said, how much is a packet of cigarettes nowadays? $65 for a pack of 25 Winfield. I said, do people still smoke? She said, yeah, some people, like, they just don't care about the money. They just want to smoke. Like, I said, can they afford it? Yeah, they can afford it. My mind is just blown. If you spend $65 a pack a day, I was a pack a day smoker, that's $400, over $400 a week. And she goes, yeah, that's a wage. Wow.
Double happiness. That's how. If you know, you know.
Your parents told you growing up, and how old were you when you realized that wasn't the truth? I'll go first. So when me and my brother were little, we lived in a really huge house with my mom and my dad. I had an older sister. She's about 11 years older than me, and she was like always in and out of the house. She was like in school, had a job, would kind of live somewhere else and kind of live with us, and that's all I knew of. But one day, my mom decided to tell me and my brother that we had another sibling. I was kind of shocked. I'm like, who are they? I want to meet them. I'm thinking they're our age, you know, like a young kid that we would be able to meet and play with. But that wasn't what she told us. She ended up telling us that we had a much older sister. My mom had me when she was 32. So, you know, she could have had another baby before my sister, who's 11 years older than me. It would have worked out just fine. You know, my brother's just 4 years older than me. So I'm like, who is she? Where is she? Like, what happened to her? And my mom told me and my brother that she said that one day my older sister was sitting on the toilet. She was a smoker, and she would have a normal sit on the toilet and have a cigarette type of deal going on. So every time she would go into poop, she would be smoking a cigarette. So what she did one day was she sat down, lit her cigarette up, and let out a massive fart, which caused her to explode. So here I am, maybe 4 years old. My brother's like 8 years old, and we think that our older sister died, blew herself up on the toilet because she was smoking a Marlboro 100 menthol and just happened to fart and just blow herself up and blow up the side of the bathroom in the same house that we were living in. For years, we thought this was true. For years, we told people about this. For years, I felt sorry for her. And one day, as an adult, me and my brother were talking about her. We never knew her name. Like, we had never seen her in pictures. But we're talking about her. And my mom was, like, laughing her ass off. She's like, that story isn't true at all. Like, that, what, you guys really believe that? And we're like, yes. For years, ma'am, we believed that. Like, what the is that shit? She was like, no, that's just what I told you guys so you wouldn't smoke.
I got one. If you're low on gas, don't turn on the AC because the gasoline runs out. Until this day, it's a habit for me.
This is my kumquat tree, and you can see it's so abundant this season. And you have to eat the whole thing. You can't be taking a little bite. That doesn't work. You have to eat the skin and the insides all at the same time. I also use them for margaritas, and I'm making it soft and juicy. Ready? They're so good. So sweet and so sour. All at the same time.
I like her in Clueless. It's hilarious.
And I wouldn't care, but it's like $400 worth of stuff. It won't show up, but... So that's their front porch. There's the package. Okay.
Oh, that little black thing right
yeah. And so you can't get to the front porch because it's gated off. So I went to the side door and I knocked. A younger girl came to the door, probably close to my size, and I asked for it. They gave me all these. We weren't even home. Blah 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 blah. And then she said, okay. I said, well, I'm going to call the police. She goes, well, you can call Victoria's Secret. And I never once said where it was from. I just said a package.
Okay, what's inside the package, if you don't mind me asking?
So,
is it like a whole laundry list of things?
Oh, yeah. Like, let's see if it shows the one. Like, all of this stuff. It's $400 worth of stuff.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So.
Hi. Hello. I'm alright. So she has a package that got delivered here and she want it back. So she has pictures that the package was in fact delivered here and it was sitting right on your porch.
That's what she said.
Okay.
I was in bed till 12 o'clock this afternoon with my dogs, and as you can see, they're very vocal, and they were in bed with me, and my husband was not here.
Okay.
So I believe if the picture shows that the package was here, I believe her. The picture shows that it was here, but I do not know anything else.
All right. Who all lives here?
My daughter, me, and my husband.
Okay.
My
Would you mind
daughter
bringing them out
is with
also?
My husband.
Would you mind bringing them out also?
Pardon?
Would you mind bringing them out
Yes,
also?
I can ask
So I can
them
explain the situation to them also.
They were in Rocky River. He
Okay.
went to get her.
Oh, perfect. There's a Ring doorbell right over there. Perfect. The house over there. Hello. Hi. So does anybody have any idea about this package that got delivered here? There's a package 100% got delivered here. She has pictures of it. We know it got delivered here at some point.
No, when we got home, there was nothing here, and I don't know who up. Answer his question. No, I was in bed till now.
Okay, so what's going to happen is I'm giving you guys the opportunity, if you guys did take it, to just give it back. Because if you don't, I'm going to do a theft report, and all three of you are going to be listed as suspects. So what's going to happen, there's a Ring doorbell right over there. So I'm going to go knock on that door and figure out who came out and picked up that package. And whoever did that's going to get charged with a theft, okay? And that's $400 worth of stuff. So either we give it back now, nobody gets in trouble, or I figure out who stole it and they're going to get charged. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Okay? That's how we're going to handle this?
If we find it and we know who took it, it will be returned.
And that's not how we're handling this. When we find out who took it, they're being charged with theft. Okay? We're not doing this, oh, you got me, I'm on camera, I took it, I'm going to give it back now. They're going to be charged with theft. I will arrest them for theft. I'm not playing around. Okay? So either give it back now, or I'm listing all three of you as suspects.
Okay.
Okay. Driver's license.
Mine?
All three of them.
Wow.
Is the state ID okay?
Yes, that's fine. She has proof that the packages was delivered here. And what time did that get delivered? 9:15. So sometime between 9:15 and basically, when did you first get here?
Probably like maybe 12.
And it was already gone, correct?
It was already gone, yeah.
It was already gone.
So between 9:15 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
So she has evidence that it did in fact get delivered here. She tried knocking on the door and got some runaround story about them like not having it or something. There's a Ring doorbell over there, so I'm gonna try and get who came and picked up the package. So
it sounds like these people probably have it.
Most likely, yeah.
But they're not
fessing up to it. And I even gave them the out. I'm like, you guys just have it, just give it back to them. Nobody gets charged.
The lady who is missing the package mentioned that one of those people said it was from a Victoria's Secret, and she never said anything where it was from. You know, the cop should have brought that up.
You all seen this video yet?
You guys are not gonna believe what I captured with my telescope. So I wanted to show people just how bright the so-called planets truly are. Because all the images and photos we see online are extremely underexposed, and they're either stacked or layered or just plain CGI.
I didn't show all of the video because you have to go watch it for yourself. Mind-blowing. Now, most people don't realize that the images that they're seeing and the videos that they're seeing that are being published for the world to see. They're not what you think they are. I'll just put it that way, because I don't want them to filter this video. This man, David, he is showing you all the truth. And not only is he showing you all the truth, but he's leading you back to the truth. David's a good friend. We pray for each other. We lift each other up. We edify each other. He is an amazing brother in Christ, and you can trust everything that man says.
This is exactly why I don't send my kids to other people's houses.
Can we normalize sending the other family money for play dates? So recently, my daughter had a friend over, and I asked her mom for money, and this is how it went. So after the play date, I texted her mom and I said, thanks for letting Jamie play today. Please help out with your share of the expenses for the play date, totaling $15 via Venmo. Because I can't keep doing these play dates if it's so expensive. And she said, expenses? And of course, I wrote them down. There was chalk, applesauce, fruit. She sat on the couch, so that's wear and tear. She actually broke a toy. She had 3 juice boxes. She went to the bathroom. She had yogurt.
I don't know if this lunatic's been shopping at the Lululemons, but she's got me absolutely chopped and if she thinks she's charging my child to go to the bathroom while they're at their house. Look at this itemized list. Listen, if my kid comes to your house and breaks something, I will absolutely pay for it. I will go even as far as to say, if you want my kid to have something to eat while they're at your house and you want me to provide it, let me know beforehand and I will send it with them. But I want to know, who is mission that decides the dollar amount on bathroom trips and couch wear and tear? I'm telling you right now, if you ever send me some after my kids are at your house, I will see personally that my kids are never around you ever again, and I'm calling the feds and telling them Diddy stored his security footage in your house. If this isn't rage bait, I have lost all hope for humanity.
I would pay. Next play date at my home. She broke a $1,800 vase. How unfortunate.
There's a crazy Google Earth theory that may confirm aliens are real. How would Google Earth prove that aliens exist? So on Google Earth, you can type in like coordinates or an address and it'll take you directly to that spot. But when you type in these coordinates into Google Earth, it'll show you the desert just north of LA in Ridgecrest, California, where you see this alien portal looking ship thing and there are military tanks all around it defending it.
What?
Okay, so watch this. See how it zoomed in?
What
is that? Exactly, right? Then you look around, it looks like a portal or some kind of alien ship, right?
It looks like the Millennium Falcon
But when you look around, you'll see that there's a bunch of military tanks guarding the perimeter of the alien portal thing.
What?
There's a bunch of tanks. There's like 10 tanks all around it.
Oh my gosh.
Now, you're just going to tell me there's random military-grade tanks, heavy-duty tanks around LA in the desert.
Do you know what's weird? They're pointing away from it as if they're like protecting what's in it.
Right, exactly.
This is a military exercise base with a part for Navy SEALs to practice maneuvers in a water simulation. That's it. The top secret stuff is blurred, erased from Google Earth.
February of the year 2000, Owensboro, Kentucky, Mark Tatum would go to bed one night complaining of a common slight headache, nothing out of the ordinary. But by morning, it had become utterly unbearable. And so Mark's wife, Nancy Tatum, rushed him to the hospital where his condition rapidly deteriorated. So a specialist there found that Mark had a rare and deadly disease called mucormycosis, a fungal infection that would give him essentially 48 hours to live unless severe and drastic action was taken. And so it was. Doctors removed both of his eyes and his nose, along with a large portion of his surrounding face. Nancy Tatum, his wife, said this in an interview about just the suddenness of this tragedy.
All this happened within a week. I mean, you know, he was fine, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. And within 2 or 3 days, they were telling me that he probably was not going to make it.
Later, after this surgery, a sculptor named Scott Ficus donated his time to craft Mark a realistic-looking facial appliance. And so taking care of and cleaning Mark's artificial face has now become a daily routine for him and Nancy. And what does Mark Tatum have to say about all of this? He says his tear ducts are completely gone, and therefore he has no tears, and so he does not cry. He only cries from his heart.
I think he was passed in 2005.
Real quick, I want to show you what happens when private equity comes in and buys up a major franchise. Now remember, franchises, a company owns the name, the intellectual property, the training materials, but individual, everyday, hardworking Americans own the individual locations. Private equity acquires that name. Those individual locations have no say in that. Now, it has been less than 3 months since Subway closed with Roark. Now, Roark already owns Arby's. They already own Jimmy John's. They already own 2 other deli brands, right? And they're creating a massive monopoly. But less than 3 months after they bought Subway, now you can buy all of the Subway sandwich sauces, all the sauces that made each of their recipes special or original or unique. You can now buy on sale for $3.99. That is less than half the price of a single sandwich. And what's killing me is that, so now you can make it at home, which I love being able to afford to do things at home, but they're competing with their own franchisees. But why? Why would they do that? Especially when this Subway is literally in the same parking lot that I'm in. They do that because the Subway owners only pay 3 to 4% royalties. So when you sell a $10 sandwich, they're only getting 40 cents. But when they sell this bottle, they're getting 100% of the licensing and profits. So they are circumventing their franchisees to squeeze more money out. And in the process, they're making it so that it looks less affordable to eat for their franchisees. But they're still getting their money. They got to make back that $8.5 billion. And so the franchisees suffer, the communities suffer. They find ways to circumvent and go straight to the customers. And small businesses always pay the price for private equity's greed.
Right.
If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and we work together to fight private equity and save small businesses in our community. Don't forget to do all the things, because it's going to take every single one of us, and I am so glad you're here.
If private equity gets involved, they will actively harm the company until all profits are squeezed out, then bankruptcy.
Today I'm trying Indonesia's version of KFC. JFC. I'm gonna get this one right here. I'm confused because I've seen a KFC in Bali. So we have our rice here, some chicken, and I have no idea what this drink is. Let's see how this chicken compares to KFC. It looks pretty good actually. Wait, it's actually like better than KFC. Now let's try this drink.
It's not lying, folks.
Oh, it's like a chocolate milk. Wow, that is really good. Let me know which one you prefer better, JFC or KFC, because I'm team JFC. As I'm leaving, I see the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life, bro. It just sprinted right behind me where I was sitting. It was literally the size of a dog.
Milo is the drink he had. It's so sugary, but it's awesome.
So every Friday I take my mom to lunch. And people often ask me, why do you do that? When my mom is 66 years old, I realized that the average lifespan is 76. So if I only saw her on Christmas and Thanksgiving, that means I only got 20 more times with her. But also, you don't get to know what's going on in your loved one's life. You don't know what they're struggling with. You don't know what they're dealing with. And it's a chance to get closer.
It is.
It's a chance not to have...
And a good one to be nosy.
Nosy, yeah. But it means you'll have no regrets. So spend time with those that are important to you. Spend time with those who you love. Stay blessed.
His mom is beautiful. She did an awesome job in raising a gentleman.
He's got a new angle on the person that was throwing patio furniture off of a skyscraper in Manhattan. Here we see him throwing off a table, yeets that thing like he's Morgan Wallen. Then we see he grabs some wood and he chucks it off. Here we can see the wind kind of blows it for a bit, but it actually comes down and nails a bus. You kind of see it glide down, move out of the way, and boom, direct hit. Eventually cops arrive and block his only exit, so he goes to the balcony here and tries to figure out if he can slide off down to the level below, but he figures out that he can't and ultimately climbs back up and is arrested. And before they put him in the cop car, they ask why he did it. The reason he said he was doing all this was because he was all the way up there meeting with the General Consulate of Haiti, complaining about housing prices. They got in an argument, and then eventually he got so heated that he stormed out on the patio, started grabbing the furniture that was up there and just throwing it off the building. And while I agree that the cost of housing is frustrating, taking your anger out by throwing heavy patio furniture off the 30th floor of a building onto people below is no way to resolve anything. That's my opinion. What do y'all think about that?
Alright, trying to wrap my head around the fact that he was arguing with the consulate of Haiti about high housing prices, but he's in NYC.
Jack Black is one of the evilest pieces of crap to ever sell their soul. Let me show you why. So you might have seen the video where he had Jack Black endorsing Biden while saluting the devil. Well, Jack Black had humble and seemingly innocent beginnings, right? Well, Jack Black is the reason many teenagers fell into devil worship in the 2000s. You think I'm kidding? I watched it happen. So this band named Tenacious D came out that was Kyle and Jack Black. And it was basically about them selling their soul to the devil. But these guys made tons of music. This was on an album cover, I believe. And in the music, it's so demonic and there's spells all throughout it that I can't even show you guys. It was literally like the first mainstream Satan worshipping thing to really come out in the 2000s. Besides the obvious stuff like the Church of Satan. Before that time, all the Satan worship happening in the industry was subliminal. Here's Jack Black, Kyle, and Dave Grohl making a pentagram with their fingers. And don't be confused, Jack Black knows exactly what his job is, and his job is to lead people to hell. Even his name, what is the origin of the meaning of Jack? God is gracious. Jack, God is gracious. Black, what's black? The absence of light. It is the devil. This man right here knows who he worships and how easy it was for him to trade humanity's souls for money. Be cautious who you watch because most people are casting spells on you on a daily basis.
They're all in the same club we ain't a part of.
I just, and this is being really honest, like, I don't enjoy living. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy things anymore. I don't, if someone can come over and lay in bed with me and talk, like you have, and like a girlfriend of mine did the other day, the one that we talked about, but like, that's enjoyable. I enjoy that. But if someone's like, let's get up and go for a walk, or let's go get a coffee, or I'm like, I don't enjoy that process. I did the thing, the thing on the television thing. Mm-hmm. That was like the hardest day of my life.
Oh, I just got it out. That has been in my cheek. When I was in New York, I went to this restaurant, and if you look closely, you can see there's little like flowers with like stems on them. All of a sudden, I felt this like prick in my cheek, like inside my mouth. Like it felt like a prickle of like a branch or a cactus. So then I went to like feel it with my finger, but it started like getting shorter and shorter. When this happened at the restaurant though, I called my sister into the bathroom like immediately. I was like, dude, come help, something's wrong. And she came in, was looking at it. She's like, oh my God, dude, like there's something in there. Let's go see what's been lodged in my cheek for the past 3 days.
He's feeling it right here.
Mm-hmm. Like it's all along here.
I don't know what to suggest.
Well, no answer yet, but we're going to an oral surgeon tomorrow at 10:15, so. Just got x-rays.
That's, right there.
He's right here.
Oh.
Sorry. It's tender.
Mm-hmm.
As you were chewing your salad, and it probably did traumatize that tissue.
Could it have been like a, cactus type needle?
It's possible. Obviously some trauma there.
Well, you guys are not going to like this as much as I don't like this, but he said that trauma to the mouth usually causes a lot of discomfort and pain 2 to 3 days after the trauma happened. So basically, I'm getting a prescription mouthwash and ibuprofen to handle the pain and swelling. Oh, I just got it out. Oh my God.
Ew.
Oh my God. That has been in my cheek. Oh, I told you there was something in there. I knew it, bro.
What is it?
Y'all, that was lodged in my cheek for over 2 weeks, probably like 2.5 weeks.
If you're 20 and I'm 60, I'm 3 times your age. But 20 years from then, you're going to be 40, I'm going to be 80, and only twice your age.
Mind-boggling.
And now for today's morning message from Stevie B. Today, open your hearts and minds to only perceive and receive truth, because the problem could be with your processing. What do you mean, Stevie B? I just mean lighten up, friends. Simply because I say something that you interpret and process as X, Y, and Z, then that doesn't mean that it isn't true. It just means perhaps there's a problem with the processing. God bless. Have a great day.
He's freaking me out, but I like it.
What does an alligator do whenever they freeze in the water? That's right, they stick their nose out of the water to make sure that they can still breathe in the frozen water. As you can see, people, this is what reptiles do whenever it's frozen. And as you can see right here at the bottom of Argentina and the top of Antarctica, we have what appears to be a large serpent right there. Can you see it, people? Right there. You probably think this is crazy, but I'm going to prove to you that thing is a fire-breathing dragon and still alive. As you can see right here, as we zoom in, you can see what appears to be nose holes. These same holes you can find on reptiles like snakes. Now, they look like islands, all right, of some sort, until I continue to zoom in and zoom in, right? Keep up with me, people. I have to show you. This is crazy. This is smoke, people. What we are seeing that is white is smoke, people. And I know you don't want to believe it. I'm going to show it to you. We're going to keep on going. And I want you to also look. These are crater holes. These holes are going down. All right? This is this thing's nose, and he has it out of the water. Still breathing, people. All right, watch, people. Look. Say Central Islands. People, look. This is a crater that is going down. Look at it. That is going down. Let's get closer. Look at that, people. That is smoke. People, this is a crater going down into a hole right here. And this is smoke, people, coming out of that hole. Look at that. That is smoke coming out of the nose hole on this thing, you guys. Look at this. Once again, look. That is a crater. Look at the shadowing. That is going down. That is going down into... Oh no, not inner earth. That's crazy. People, this thing still has its nose out of the water. Why? Look at it. Why? Because it's frozen, people. This thing is still frozen in hibernation. And it has its nose out of the water, people. So it can still breathe. I just look. Listen, people. Look. Those are holes, people. That is not a not a volcano. That is not an island. That is a hole going down, people. With smoke. This is crazy. Look, that is smoke, you guys. That is smoke. You can say whatever you want to about this stuff. Listen to me. That goes down. That is down, and this is inside of there. This smoke is coming out of those holes right there and coming up here, people. I believe this is part of the nose on this damn dragon. This is absolutely crazy. Absolutely. This is beyond me. Look at that, people. That's a crater. Right along with the other ones that are craters on this animal. Look at that thing, you guys. It is massive. And when I say, look at the wings. Look at the wings on this thing, you guys. Look at the wings. You have to be kidding me. This is crazy. You guys, I believe we live on a damn dragon. Puff, the magic dragon. Look at that.
Don't know if I believe it, but the Bible does say the Leviathan will appear in the end times. Let me know how you feel about this.
I recently made a video about Judy Garland's performance in Everybody Sing.
Where the corn and potatoes used to grow, there's great big elegant pictures show. And my old Kentucky home is a French chateau, way down south in Dixie, sweet Lord.
Throughout the late 1930s and early 1940s, Garland frequently shared the screen with Mickey Rooney, sparking an on-screen partnership that many mistook for real-life romance. One of the 3 instances where Garland appeared in blackface occurred alongside Rooney in their 1939 film Babes in Arms, interestingly released the same year as the iconic Wizard of Oz.
I'm going to Louisiana for my true love to see. Now it rained all night the day I left the weather. It was so dry, the sun so hot I froze to death. Susanna, don't you cry.
This was 20 years before Mickey Rooney gave us Mr. Unioshi in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Mr. Golightly, I protest. Oh, darling, I am sorry, but I lost my key. But that was 2 weeks ago. You cannot go on or keep ringing my bell. You disturb me. You must have a key made.
Someone nominate this woman for Canadian Prime Minister.
Is not food for human consumption. They make it food for their babies. It's breast milk for their baby. It's actually regurgitation. It's vomit. Honey is bee vomit. It's maybe sweet and sugary, but it's still vomit. And they vomited pre-digested food for their baby, not for you. So it's going to spike your blood sugar. You don't need honey. This is what you want. Because you're not eating this, and you're not eating this because you're eating the starch. You cannot eat potatoes and rice and macaroni and enjoy fruits. One or the other. You get your sugar from starch or from fruits. And if you're getting it from starch, this is going to become a problem, according to your doctor. And they take you off of fruit sugar because the fruit is your medicine now, and it's a very powerful medicine, and it's going to heal you radically. And the doctor said, don't eat fruits because your blood sugar spikes. It's because it's doing its job. The medicine is too powerful for you.
Please, sir, what about water? Are we allowed to drink water?
Behind every billion-dollar company, there's plenty of stories like this that you hear about.
You began to build your own company called Nike, and you needed a symbol of the company, and I guess somebody came up with this swoosh. So you paid $35 for that?
Yeah, it was a graphic arts student at Portland State who needed money.
Okay.
And we said, we'll pay you $2 an hour to practically, to get some designs, and she spent 17 and a half hours on that.
Wow, okay, well. So, $35, that's pretty good. Okay. So,
it did have a happy ending. I hope you had that.
You gave her some stock.
When we went public, we gave her 500 shares of stock, and she has not sold a single share, and it's over $1 million.
This guy, Phil Knight, was a very unique character. So many great stories of how he built the certain values and principles, how weird he was, how different he was, how much of a competitor he was.
When you look at the Sumerian text really closely, you actually find that they seem to be referring to literally a dog, that there is something about dogs, whether it's the hounds of hell, this is the ancient depiction. There's something about this specific race that they had dog face. They were cognates of dogs, and it's because when you see the genetics and you understand the genetics of a dog, you'll understand why they're calling it man's best friend. And that basically Marduk or Cain that's why we get our word canine, as in Canaan, that Cain was actually raised back basically in the stage of a dog using necromancy. Okay. Now this process though actually opens up a door. This is why they call it Pandora's box, because it turns out, as let's say the Anu, which are other beings even over these beings, were saying, is that there's like a door. That's why this is all in the Abrahamic tradition. The whole Sumerian thing is all the Abrahamic tradition, but starting at the root. Right? And what the beings were saying, as Abraham was saying to his sons, that listen, there's like these things and they live like next door. And if you guys start fighting and all that kind of stuff again, you're going to open up a portal right to them. Right? And so this is Abraham, if you may, as an analogy, hearkening to a time before the floods. But this is before the flood. And what is happening is that one of the goddesses is opening up a portal using necromancy to raise their king.
Mans lost me when he said inner stand.
Some really exciting space news. Sometime in the coming weeks, a new star will appear in the sky as bright as the North Star. And it might be your only chance to see it in your entire life. This will be the first time we've seen this star appear in the sky since the 1940s. The reason it's about to become visible again is because of an extremely powerful event known as a recurrent nova. Because the star isn't actually just one star, it's two. A white dwarf and a red giant orbiting each other in a binary system. It takes 80 years for the white dwarf to suck in matter from the red giant, causing pressure and temperature to build up. Once it gets hot enough to set the hydrogen alight, it goes off like a hydrogen bomb. And that's what we are about to see. Astronomers have actually been observing this very specific nova appear in our sky every 80 years for nearly 1,000 years now. When this nova does happen in the next few weeks, you need to be prepared because it will only be extremely bright in the sky for around 1 day. So follow me and I'll post as soon as there's an update to let you know it's time. Otherwise you'll have to wait another 80 years.
Every week we see something we want in a lifetime.
Recent study on rice that if you cook white rice in what was it? Coconut oil? Coconut oil. It reduces its calorie count by 70% because of the way the coconut oil changes the structure of the rice grains. More of it passes through your gut, but you get the fiber and the carbs that are actually healthy for you.
A lot of people don't know this, but when you eat those prebiotic fibers, which is what happens when you cook rice that way, your gut bacteria will turn it into saturated fats called butyric acid and propionic acid. So people say gorillas are so strong. Gorillas have this giant gut that ferments the plants into fats that make gorillas look that way. We don't have guts that can do that, but we can with some prebiotic fiber. We can do some of that, and that's why you feel good when you get that. So sushi rice without sugar in it is actually better for you than hot rice.
So adding a high-calorie oil to a very low-calorie food like rice somehow drops the calories. Let me know how you feel about this.
I was using the laser to carve a scar off of the surface of the cornea of a fellow that had leukemia. Well, as I was carving the scar off, it released the viruses from his cornea, went up through my mask into my nose and into my brain, and I developed encephalitis. I not had a root canal in the tooth that's in the circuit that provides power for the brain, particularly the frontal lobes of the brain. That voltage was low in that part of my brain, which allowed the virus to have its way with me. Got extreme fatigue. I got to where I could see a patient and know what was wrong with them, but I couldn't remember how to write a prescription. And I also developed spastic movements, so I would be sitting there and do something like that, which doesn't work really well if you're operating inside of an eyeball. Went to the best doctors I could find, the NIH. I went to the head of corneal immunology in Boston, and they all said, well, you have 3 viruses in your brain. Good luck. We don't know what to do about it, so don't call us, we'll call you. I'm sleeping 16 hours a day for approximately 7 years. And during the day, I had 2 or 3 hours a day in which I could understand a newspaper, and then like a light switch would go off and I couldn't understand it anymore. So I had a decision to make. I would either lay down and call it quits, or I could use those 2 or 3 hours a day to try to figure out how to get myself well. And so I chose the latter. The concept I had at the time, all of the cells in the body are basically the same. They have even though they look different, they have the same hardware, just different software. If I could figure out how to make one cell work, I could make them all work. I discovered that I didn't know and wasn't taught in medical school was so the body's constantly replacing itself. Cells in the macula of your eye every 48 hours. The lining of your gut's replaced every 3 days. The skin you're sitting in today is 6 weeks old. Your liver is about 8 weeks old. Your nervous system is 8 to 12 months old. As things get injured or wear out, you have to make new ones. Cells have to run in a pH of 7.35 to 7.45. Began to read about pH. I discovered that pH is simply the measurement of voltage in a liquid. Voltage in a liquid. Conductive voltage, you're talking about electrons moving through a wire, and the switch is either on or off. But when you're talking about voltage in a liquid, it can either be an electron donor or an electron stealer. pH is a logarithmic scale that relates to the voltage in the liquid. And if you have 400 millivolts of electron stealer, you put a plus sign in front of it to indicate that it's a stealer, and it is a logarithmic scale of 0 or a pH of 0. And if you have 400 millivolts of electron donor, you put a minus in front of the voltage, and that corresponds to a pH of 14. And of course, a pH of 0 is neutral. It's neither electron donor or electron stealer. When you convert that, what it tells you is that cells have to run between minus 20 to minus 25 millivolts of electron donor. Oh, cells have to have voltage to work. That makes sense. Everything else has to have energy, doesn't it? A pH meter is a sophisticated voltmeter designed for measuring voltage in liquid, and it has a switch on it. If you switch it in one position, it tells you the millivolts and whether it's plus or minus. If you switch it to the other, it converts that automatically to the logarithmic scale of pH. Figure out how to measure my voltage. And I found that a chap named Nakatani was the first person to use modern electronics to measure acupuncture circuits. I got the device that Nakatani used as a rather rudimentary device, but I was able to measure my circuits and discover that my brain was running between 2 and 4 millivolts instead of 25 millivolts. So now I knew why it didn't work. I figured out that my brain has very low voltage. The next question is, well, what are you going to do about it? And so that's how I developed the biomodulator. And so I began to use the device on myself. And as I was able to increase my voltage, over about 6 weeks or so, my brain started working again. I began to be functional again. I never really intended to go back into practice, but friends and people from my church and so forth started coming to see me at my home, and pretty soon we turned my upstairs into a clinic, and my wife was anxious to get that out of the house. So I rented a room from a chiropractor, then 2 rooms, and then the clinic next door, and here we are 25 years later. We get sick when we lose the ability to make new cells that work, to replace those that are worn out or have been damaged. And if you can't replace those cells, pretty soon each organ begins to have fewer and fewer functional cells until finally the organ fails you. So if you're going to recover from any chronic disease, you have to address voltage and the ability to make new cells.
I love the videos that make us think, but where are the actual answers? I'm tired of just being told weird facts. I'm just going to put a 9-volt battery in my left pocket and hope it works.
Let me tell y'all something. Europe will humble you in a way that will teach you that you have been taught all the wrong shit. So when I was living in Europe, I remember when you're here in America, you get like the burger you want, the chicken fried the way you want, you get everything pretty much the way that you want. And I was used to that. I was like, if I want something, give it to me. So I remember the first time I went to London, and I was just getting off the plane, hungry as hell, didn't even care about what I was getting. I'm like, let me go to KFC. So I look up, and I'm like, all right, 3-piece, give me a 3-piece crunchy. That's what I want. When I tell y'all, he looked at me like I had said something horrible. He then responds, the chicken is the way it is. And I'm like, what do you mean it's the way it is? He's like, the chicken is the way that it is. There is no crunchy. I said, so I'm paying for it and I can't get it the way I want? It's not about what you want, because this is in America. We cook the chicken, you ask for the chicken, you pay for the chicken. There is no special cooking instructions. And when I tell y'all, that day woke me up, that let me know that America had taught me all the wrong. And they went on to Spain and everywhere else when I would be wanting something a special way. And I was like, only in America will they let me do that.
I guess in Europe, the customer is not always right.
And a month into us dating, he was supposed to come down here from Kentucky. He messaged me every time he stopped for gas. And then whenever he was an hour away in Memphis, I lost all contact with him. I went to the extent of contacting the Memphis Police Department to see if any accidents were reported matching his description that day, because for 5 days he wouldn't answer me, respond. I had to make a fake phone number to call him from before he actually answered.
Wow.
When he answered, I was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure you was okay. And then he hung up on me.
Oh.
So we stopped talking for a month or so. Then finally he messaged me back one day and asked if he could call me. He called me and apologized. His excuse was that he got cold feet and turned around. I was excited, I guess, from talking to him again, because we did hit it off really well. So I kind of brushed it off, I guess you can say. we considered ourselves dating again pretty quick. There was, some red flags, like he wouldn't video chat because he said his camera was broke. He had sent me a picture of his son one weekend, and the picture that he had sent me was of a toddler. And the previous picture I had seen of him and his son is 8 years old. But also, some of his pictures, like his beard would be longer, and he would just be like, well, I groomed more that day or something stupid like that. So I decided to do a image search, and the first profile that popped up was a mugshot.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was a gentleman with a different name and a different age.
But same guy.
Yes, same guy. And so I messaged him, and I'm just like, hey, well, I think I found your twin. And funny story is, he lives in Kentucky, it says.
Which is where Alex says he lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he says that he legally changed his first and last name.
Please put these new episodes on Netflix or Hulu, because I cannot go on like this.
The reason we think our siblings smell so bad.
Oh, why?
You ever pass by your sibling and then you smell them yo, you stink.
Yeah, okay.
They just smell sour or something,
Is
right?
it just because
So check this out. It's actually a safety mechanism for survival.
Whoa.
Since we have siblings and we're related, there's a natural body response to make their sweat stink more to you because you're related. How? So it stops breeding.
What?
Yeah, naturally, we won't want to, mate with our sibling. It will stop you from doing that. So you can imagine in the wild or early Neanderthals, if they smell them they're disgusted. It's because God put that in there so that you wouldn't mate with your sibling, bro.
That's low-key dark, too.
Wow.
But that's why, even your mom and dad, when I come home from the gym, they're like, yo, you stink.
My siblings do not smell. Alright folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. Thank you for staying till the end. There's a free gift below if you like. Thank you for watching. Have a prosperous day. And God bless.
Yeah. You say you don't say much out of the breeders.
I'm sorry?
I said if you have a first grade card in the bonus.
I'm sorry?
So you have a make rate interest on the trades.
The what?
You said if you no child in the breeder, right?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
I said if you have a new say make a side of pieces.
A new stain?
New
Like
say.
what?
What's that? I said if you're the part of the treaty, right?
Wait, I'm sorry? I don't know if I'm if
Okay,
I'm
so
deaf?
no, so you're making child in the cradle, right?
Huh?
I say if you ever know it, maybe she know.
Wait, what?
I say if you ever a nursery child in the priestess.
Oh, if you're trying to do some TikTok thing, right? What did you say?
Some what? TikTok.
What did you say?
I say I was asking if she ever made a child of beach shaders.
I know I'm not tripping.
All right.
You trying to play me, right?
I have a good one.